Welcome to episode 1, season 3 of Some Kind of Fun.
Woo.
3.
We made it, you guys. We made it.
We made it. And if you heard the conversation before we started, you'd be applauding.
Or turning this off right now.
Yeah, we're turning it off right now.
Yeah, exactly. Old guy talks about his health. It's always an interesting topic.
Well-meaning wife also discusses sensitive health things with nephew. Okay, well.
Yes.
Yep. Sorry, Keely.
We have some special guests today. They will, as we always do, we always have special guests.
Yes.
But today's special guests are really special. We have Chris Riemenschneider from the Minneapolis Star-Tribune and Elizabeth Amal from ELOUR. And we've got clips from Rank Strangers, Unattractive Giant Monster. We got a big show here.
Wow.
If you
Packed.
You packed.
Coming
You
in
gotta
hot.
pack. We're
coming in hot for
super
this
hot.
season.
It is.
So everybody's favorite segment is most recent favorite shows. And as we're going to begin with Paul, even though his volume is not what he would like.
Yeah, I haven't been to many shows this month due to some concerning health issues, but we're getting better, and I got back out a little bit in the last couple of weeks, and I just have to say 2 shows I saw this week was Robert Wilkinson and Stevie Brandsegg at the Schooner, and Stevie's guitar just adds a level, I don't know how to express it, to Robert's wonderful songs, and it's very cool. And then last night I was out seeing the world's best party band, which is Dave Rave and the Governors, and it was joyous. So that's been my month.
Excellent. Claire.
I saw a really, really fun set from Unattractive Giant Monster and also one from The Dash. And I haven't gotten out much either, but that's because I'm a giant fucking baby and it's been really cold and I just makes life hard.
Yeah.
How about you, Peter?
Well, I went to the Hook and Ladder, and I didn't stay for the whole show, but I did see first See You Next Tuesday from Duluth, and then Jenny Matrix from Minneapolis. Both are relatively newer bands, so both their sets were quick. And what I did was I played Paul. I was like, I'm going to go to the front row because these are new bands. I'm going to sit
I'm
in
so
the.
proud of you, Pete.
I'm going to stand
I know
in the
that's
front
not
row.
where you're like typically happy.
Well, I was proven right. So, so during the Jenny Matrix set, the lead singer, she jumped off the stage and looked at me and looked at the crowd, and I was like, oh, she's going to mosh. And I just like hightailed it.
And I'm out. This is good while it lasted. Okay.
Always a good decision.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Exactly. So anyway, but I really liked both those acts. And then I headed on over to Palmer's Bar to catch a little band called The Silent Treatment and Unattractive Giant Monster and Dashed. I got there for the end of Dashed set. They were great. Unattractive Giant Monster really brought it. And then The Silent Treatment. The Silent Treatment was great. And we got clips.
We were a full band.
We got clips.
We got clips. We got Frozen Teens.
We got Miracle Deck.
Making out.
And Pleasure Cube. And when we come back, the aforementioned interview with the Minneapolis Star-Tribune's Chris Riemenschneider.
Welcome back to Some Kind of Fun. Season 3, Episode 1. We're very excited to be joined by Chris Riemenschneider. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, you've been the rock critic in waiting for the Star Tribune for how long?
Well, half of what John Bream has worked at the Star Tribune.
I know.
23 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember you as the new kid.
That's funny, isn't it? That's some people still think of me as the new kid there because John's still there. But lucky to have a good coworker like John, and we're lucky we still have 2 music critics in general because a lot of papers don't have any. So,
Exactly. And no, you're from here originally, correct?
Yeah.
You grew up in St. Paul, is that correct?
east side of St. Paul, and then my junior year of high school, I was going to Harding over there. Go Knights. My dad was a 3M'er, as were half of the kids, the parents over there, and they 3M transferred a bunch of people down to Austin.
Okay.
So my junior year of high school, I went to Austin, Texas. Good little music town.
Good. Yeah. It has a nice little scene.
Yeah, and actually in those days it was still kind of a little college town, not unlike kind of like Madison, Wisconsin is now, where the big tours didn't come through a lot.
Okay.
So so that really kind of helped the local scene. And that, in terms of what I covered, because I went to school at UT there in Austin, and then started working for the newspaper in Austin, and what we covered was local stuff.
Right.
Because that's we weren't getting the giant tours.
So were you there when SXSW first kind of kicked off then?
I was still in high school when I went to the third installment of that, and I saw a up and coming band from Minnesota called the Jayhawks.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and actually they were on. It was a bill with some Austin people. They were on too. Kelly Willis and the Reavers, both really great. So it was a great night of music. But yeah, I went to the third year and then went for about 25 years straight after that to South by Southwest.
Wow.
And then just finally, I think 2017 or so, I had to throw in the towel.
Yeah, we were down there not for South by Southwest, but kind of coincidentally. Mm-hmm. And we weren't there for the music part. It was going to be the start of the new digital part or whatever they call that now. Yeah. And as we were leaving, the line of Ubers to the Austin airport stretched almost back into town. It was incredible.
Yeah, there's people that live there that probably make a year's living off of those couple weeks.
Yeah, they Airbnb those houses and they're...
yeah, and the digital one, sadly, is what makes the money now, not the music.
Is it?
Yeah, the web tech and all that side of it. But they kind of bleed together, and they kind of pull from the music side. So it's still a fun thing to go to if you can get down there. Austin in March is as nice as it gets weather-wise. So.
Yeah. Exactly. We've gone to Levitation some of the last few years.
I've never been to that, but I
get that fall weather, which is also quite nice.
Yeah. It's still a great music town. It's it's gotten so overblown with tech companies, Californians moving there, driving up the price of everything, that it's getting too expensive for the musicians to live there now.
Yeah.
I keep saying that San Antonio is going to be a booming music town before too long because it's just 90 minutes south of there, and it's cheap and it's still cool. So I think there could be something going on down there further south. But,
that makes sense. That makes sense. And then from Austin, you become...
Yeah, I grew up here. My parents had already moved back up here at that point. My first niece was born, and it was kind of like, well, to move up in my job, I needed to move to a bigger newspaper.
Right.
And hey, Minneapolis, sure, that'd be great to go home. And it wound up being great for many reasons, but the newspaper amongst newspapers in the country has been one of the more resilient ones. So it was a good professional move too. On top of getting to cover the great scene here in the Twin Cities too. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it worked out great, and that was 2001. So
Wow.
yeah, I guess that's 24 years now, isn't it? Coming up on it. Yeah.
Good run.
Yeah.
So, do you find there any unique challenges in covering this scene?
Our scene, no. I mean, I never have a shortage of things to cover. I mean, there's challenges in the journalism world now
Right.
that in terms of doing my particular corner of journalism, covering music in Minneapolis. No, I mean the challenge is that we have such a rich local scene that I love covering. I would cover that full time if I could, but the Taylor Swift tours and the bigger acts get more clicks. So we got to get those two. So balancing it out, being able to cover as much local stuff as I want while still getting the traffic numbers that we need this day and age to cover the big tours. And we've been getting so many big tours coming through here. It's the arenas and the stadiums here are as busy as they've ever been. So that kind of makes it a challenge because and I like covering that stuff too. But finding that balance that's probably the hardest part in this day. And age.
Yeah, for sure. So how do you divide it up between you and Bream? Or it's Stones and it's Bream. I know that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's we've worked together so long. We don't really even need to. Oh yeah, you're going to cover that. I'll cover that. It comes down. I cover more of the metal and hard rock stuff on the big tours. He covers the mainstream Nashville country stuff. Thank God. I don't have to cover most of that. The bro country and all that.
Yeah.
I love the Americana stuff, of course. And I have teen daughters now, so I'm doing more of the pop stuff.
Sure.
He used to cover a lot of that a lot. The only time we arm wrestle over stuff is Prince and Dylan. But there's enough to go around there that we both have gotten to write many a good Prince or Dylan story. So
Yeah.
It works out.
So is there anything you're really looking forward to in 25?
Oh, good question. When we're doing this is the week that they're announcing the Minnesota Yacht Club lineup.
Right.
I really thought that was a fun festival. I think it has great potential, so I'm really interested to see and excited. But they had such a Gen X nostalgia bend to the first year. I'm wondering if they're going to keep that going forward, which it seemed to work, and that was fun. It wasn't all nostalgia. They had some newer bands too, Gary Clark Jr. and who else?
Gully Boys?
Yeah, Gully Boy. Yeah, the local stuff was pretty heavy on newer stuff. What's her name? Morgan Wade was one of them. But what they do with that, I'm really looking forward to. I'm trying to think locally. I know Turn has a new record coming out. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they progress. There's a ton of young bands that I'm really excited to see how they develop. But the lineup of the First Avenue Best New Bands this year is really a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Acts like that, it's fun to see them get to that level and then see where they go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we have a topic each month. Our topic this month was which clubs has your favorite restroom? Do you have one?
Oddly enough, we were talking about this. Well, the Varsity Theater is the one that always has the
Pete's pick.
Yes, yeah. That's always been a favorite of people. I I don't know. I don't mind a lot of people don't know at the Turf Club that there's the bathrooms behind the stage.
Yeah.
So you can kind of sneak back there, and if it's not too packed, I kind of like.
It's also a good way to get to the front of the stage.
Well, that's
just
too.
saying, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah, right. Of course, the entry you try to avoid that bathroom at all costs.
Yeah,
And
even redone.
yeah.
Which you wrote this fabulous coffee table book about First Avenue.
Yeah.
Anything new along those lines coming up? Are you maybe doing a reprint with some additional?
We did on the when was it? It was about 2 years ago. There was a new edition of it that came out, a paperback edition of it that came out. It was kind of almost time to the 50th anniversary of the club. And there's an updated prologue in that it kind of talks about how they survived the pandemic, and the kind of how NIVA, the National Independent Venues Association, in the whole thing with Amy Klobuchar and getting funding for these independent venues, that really was central. First Family played a huge role in that. Dana Frank did. So we updated the book with a lot of that info and the music stuff that's happened since then too. In terms of doing another book, that one was enough for a while. I got two. My daughters at that time were, like, I don't know, 8 and 11 or so, and they're teenagers now. They pretty much are getting to where they don't want anything to do with me anyways. But maybe once they're out of the house, then I'll think about writing another book. But I didn't like all the time it took away from them. Me writing this book. That was a challenge, and it was a lot of research. There are easier books to write. This book was not easy to write in terms of, it was 48 years to cover when I was writing it, but any story from there, you're going to get 10 different versions of that story, just because A, it was a long time ago, B, people were on stuff or whatever. So you got all kinds of different stories, and so it was challenging to do all the research and get things right, and there's still so much that I didn't get in, and I squeezed in a lot in that book, but there's still so much that I didn't get in.
Well, it's still I think my favorite rock and book release party that's ever happened was that one at the entry that you did.
That was great. Yeah, no, we got Kurt A to put the old band back together from the early days of the entry, which they were the first band to play the entry, and that was a lot of fun, and good times.
Yeah, you had Stevie and Terry playing with Kurt, and then Jeremy playing with Mark Mullman, and it's like, wow, there's kind of my Mount Rushmore of guitar players.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you're right. And it was really fun. They all kind of did. Mark did some covers of some of the artists that have played First Avenue. The Prairie Fire Lady, they're just Prairie Fire Choir now. They did some First Avenue oriented covers. A lot of even Bruce Violet. They did.
Yes.
Who did they? They did Babes in Toyland.
Yeah.
I think they did one other maybe too. But it was fun that they all played to the occasion and picked out bands that have played First Avenue throughout its history.
Yeah. So much
which of course
fun.
is such a wide swath of bands anyways. But
exactly.
It was fun.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight.
My pleasure.
Really fun to chat.
Yeah.
Daddy was a champion,
And we're back, and it's time for everybody's favorite segment, Topic O' the Month. Remember, if you got a Topic O' the Month that you want us to tackle, we are happy to do it, as you will soon see, because this month's topic is best bathrooms.
We could also go into worst bathrooms too, but then we might lose viewers. So let's stick with best.
Let's not play God here, okay?
All right.
Right. If you can't say anything nice,
Just
come sit next to me.
keep it in your face. Okay. It's not what I tell the children at school, but okay.
Claire, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with First Ave. I'm gonna go with the main room. It's iconic. It's very cool. It's, you could play human chess if you wanted to. It's spacious. It's, you can do your whole makeup and bring a wardrobe in if you want, really, but I don't think anybody does, really. I'm just saying, potential uses. I mean, hell, book the bathroom, right? It's like its own venue. The acoustics are probably not great.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's my number one.
All right. Paul, how about you?
Well, this is different at my age than, 30 years ago, it would be, well, can we take a friend back in the bathroom? That's no longer a consideration.
You can in the First Avenue bathroom, but not you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
You should.
Mark,
but
can you put a
can't.
disclaimer on this? That's not what we're not promoting the idea of bringing friends in the bathroom.
But on the other hand, are we really discouraging it?
Well, Palmer's does. They actually have a sign on the bathroom that says you will get kicked out if you bring in another person into the bathroom.
I know.
Really?
Yeah. On the women's
bathroom.
Oh, the women's side.
Yeah.
Oh.
On the men's side, we have the two very, very small
I was like,
spots.
I wish you the best of luck if you want to do something in there.
And one could say that about the women's side, too, but apparently they have to. So.
Okay.
Green room has some very nice bathrooms. They're just listed as bathroom and bathroom with urinal. You go to whichever one you're comfortable with. And then the communal sink outside, which is always fun. And big, spacious, nice and warm. That's the most important thing for me is there's adequate heat in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. That is so important.
I never thought of that, but yes, that's a good point.
And that's why the caboose gets voted down.
Okay.
Best bathrooms. It's the old middle trough, and it's cold as hell in there. Pete.
Well, you've created whole new criteria for me, but I think I will use the answer that I have. I think the fanciest bathroom is at the Varsity. It is got, I can't describe it, but it's well lit. I think it is adequately warm. The faucets are really cool. I think everybody gets their own stall for whatever you want to do in there. It's great. I got no complaints about the Varsity.
Yeah.
So good job, Varsity.
Especially their bathroom.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Thanks. And reach out with topics.
Seriously.
We're...
I feel like we can't do the worst bathrooms now because you've already talked about it.
I know, I'm sorry.
But
there are worse ones than that. But we don't have to get it. Well, now that they fixed the men's room at the Terminal Bar, it's no longer the worst bathroom in the state.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like our honorable mention category.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
The best improved bathroom.
Most improved. It's kind of like the medal that you get for trying. It's a participation medal.
Most improved is nothing to sneer at.
That's right.
So, we got clips.
We do.
We got clips from Dashed.
An attractive giant monster.
An institutional green.
And when we come back, we'll have an interview with Elizabeth Amal.
gonna do it right. Come on and do it right. No use pretending tonight. Not in the tree of life, not tonight, not tonight, not tonight. Hey, see this begun. Don't think that nothing happens fun. Here comes Cecil and David on the run. Everybody's got their opinions, and you can search mine online. For tramp, subverted, gab, handle, Nazi shit. Vegetarian theory of my mind, shopping mind. Hey, this feel is strong. Here's to the big counted on. Here comes Cecil and David on the run. Could have saved us all sometime.
And we're back with Elizabeth Gondour of ELOUR. Elizabeth, welcome.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So, how did ELOUR start and where did the name come from?
Okay. Well, it didn't start on purpose. I was in an Americana group that I had started called the Hayburners, which everybody said pronounced as the Hiberners because it was spelled H-E-I, but it was like sleigh, hay, but it didn't matter. Everybody said hi, the Hiberners. I was like, whatever. So it was an Americana group, and we were kind of going more like into the country vibe. And then I just kind of wanted to go a little bit more like what I thought was poppy.
Okay.
Because how I hear genres is, I don't think how majority hear genres. So I was thinking I was writing some like pop music. And I tried to get the band to come with me. I was like, do not do that country beat. We gotta do the pop beat, like a pop drum beat. And the drummer's like, I don't know, that's very general. I was like, like a pop beat, because I don't speak drum. So I felt like I was being very obvious and clear. But so what happened is the band did not really jump on board. Like I couldn't get them out of like the genre we were playing. So because I thought maybe the Hayburners could just like move along, like I'm moving here, come with me. Mm-hmm. It just didn't happen. So then it kind of was like I got the opportunity to record at Underwood Studios, and I was coming in with these songs that I all of a sudden didn't even have a band to. So, because that's the perfect time to record.
Right.
So kind of just like came in with these songs, and I was like, actually, I don't want to use my band because like they're not hearing these songs. Mm-hmm. So in the studios, we pretty much had to like start to create the vibe of the songs. And I eventually got a drummer. And so it was just pretty much like a drum guitar duo. And I'm not like a shredder or anything. So it was like, just pretty simple.
Right.
So that's kind of how ELOUR began. And then, then it's had so many like variations since, but it kind of developed without a band with just kind of these songs that I wanted to like shift to this different genre, which I was thinking was pop. Turns out that it's a little bit more, I would say, rock.
Okay.
But yeah, it's even different. Like the first like album or like EP does have sort of a mix of like what I am now and sort of like a little bit of like the Hayburner. So it's not even quite what ELOUR is now. I mean, it kind of slowly shifted into being a little bit more of this kind of femme rock.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about femme rock. So I read that on your website.
Yeah.
I've listened to your music. And one of the things that, when I'm searching out new music, I look for like the buzz terms and the prefixes and the suffixes like post-psychedelic, post-rock, or proto-punk, that sort of thing. What is femme rock?
Yeah, I feel like I was just trying to like categorize the music. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if that's like properly used or if there is like a whole genre that I'm in that I put myself in, because I self like labeled myself.
Right.
I was just like, okay, I feel like it's just this very like very like obviously from a very female viewpoint.
Yeah.
It's just like every song comes from this place of like very feminine feelings.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know, and all like the sort of everything that was like dumped on me as, you know, the expectations of what it meant to be female and
Yeah.
how it's like I felt, you know, restricted and broke through, like wanting to break through certain kind of like ideas about what
Yeah.
my sex meant. So I guess that's sort of, I felt like the songs really were about that struggle. And so
Sure.
I don't know.
Right.
I just went with it.
So I'm thinking about like what you're saying. I'm thinking about your song "Good Girl," right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that song come about?
Like probably in like 20 minutes. Like
Okay.
it was of like a song that just like popped out. And just that there was that expectation to always like behave properly. There's like in my upbringing, like etiquette was very big. From like both my mom's side, which was very, you know, German, and my dad's, which was Middle Eastern, like both of them were surprisingly very similar in that they were very conservative in a sense and traditional, and also like this etiquette, like the way to behave was like just like you do this, you do not do this. So that was like always very much like put on me. So that being good, you know, was like that was like the ultimate goal was to be good.
Right.
And it's like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah.
I mean, I know what it
Yeah.
means. Like, I know what it was supposed to mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to redefine what that means, I guess.
Right.
But, I mean, yeah. So I guess, but there was an idea of what that meant. And a lot of that had to do with like your sexuality and how you expressed that and how you dressed. And, you know, a lot of it had to do with sex. You know, that was just kind of because like religion was all tied in there too.
Right.
And so, yeah, there was just a lot of like pressure. And so Good Girl was kind of thinking about that.
So, this might be like a stupid question, but there are no stupid questions, right? So,
Sure.
how did you start becoming a songwriter? When did you say, I'm going to put pen to paper, and how do you do you start the song with an emotion? Do you start the song with an idea? Do you start the song with a melody?
Yeah. I was really embarrassed about trying to write. It was just nothing I had heard of people doing. Like, I came from a really small town, and, you know, it was like, there were probably artists right around, but it wasn't like,
Right.
you never talked about this person being an artist or not, or, so, yeah, it was just, that idea of creating was just like I didn't see it happening. So when I started to want to write little things, it was like in secret. It was like a private, like I was like hid. And I would like write some things down. I was like, oh, this is so awful, embarrassing. Like, what am I doing? It's weird. Because it was weird, like the
Right.
concept of like, and I remember like, I didn't start writing really writing until like my mid to late 20s. Like I had like kind of done small things, but it was like I was very insecure about them, and I remember getting caught in my sister's closet, like recording like into those like digital. I found the little recorders I used to use. And it was like because it was before phones,
Right.
Like had recording devices. So I would sing into these like in the closet, hiding. So it wasn't like I grew up in a situation where it's like, yeah, wow, she's a writer.
Yeah.
No, I was like,
Yeah.
and my sister's like, what are you doing? Oh, so weird. So I just, it kind of came just like I had to do it.
Right.
And then eventually when I moved to New York, I pursued musical theater, and I all of a sudden was like, I don't know. I think I want to just learn guitar. And then once I started learning guitar, like I had written a few songs, like I said, but I really started like writing like purposefully. So it wasn't until like 2010 or 11 or something that I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to like write.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, it was late.
Yeah. So you went to New York and you were studying musical theater. So are you classically trained?
Yeah, yep. I went to St. Olaf. I thought I was going to be like an opera star.
Okay.
And then after I was like, well, it's a lot of school. I was like, I think musical theater. And then I learned that was all dance. And I was like, I guess singing, songwriting.
Okay.
So I kind of, yeah, I always wanted to sing. But it's just like I didn't know how I was going to do that.
So when you were learning classical trained singing vocals, because I know how to use words, and
I got you. I was like, yes. I feel like this is a hard one.
How does that fit into rock, right? Because you think of rock as like this immediate
Oh my gosh,
pick up, do
rock
it.
is so hard. Now
Okay.
that I'm trying to like, because I had like this new epiphany, which is so late. Because when I wrote my own songs, I never thought of them as like real singing. I was like, well, this is just something I wrote. Like, it's not music.
Yeah.
I finally have started playing my melodies on a piano. Like, I never thought to think of them as melodies. They're just like, oh, this is just like an emotion. Like, this is me. It's not a real song. And so now I'm thinking of them as like notes and melodies. Like, if I were to learn a cover song, how I might learn that song, because that's a real song, but my music is not real. So I finally have started thinking of it as like real, and it's hard. Like, what I've written is hard, and rock songs are just like, they're so hard. Because the physical, like the physicality of it, it's like you don't think you're supposed to be working that hard, but it's so physical because it's just such a big sound, and the emotion, and a lot of it is like arranged. They like rock often, like how I do it and how I see it is like people normally like sing very low and very high in one song. Like, you do it all. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's a sport.
Yeah.
Which is so similar to singing like classically. I've just started to connect them. It's just like, was like a little, it's like still like not even on totally. I'm like, wait, these are very similar. I'm still bringing it together. So yeah, they're surprisingly not that different.
So you have, in your blender, you've got some rock, you have Americana, you have pop. What are some of your influences?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like discovering people. So what I listen to often is not like how I sing. Like, I really liked a lot of like Sylvan Esso and kind of this like more electronic stuff for a while. And so I'm just trying to find like, who is it that I am wanting to sound like? What am I wanting to sound like? And then I'm finding these women that I'm like, okay, like Pat Benatar. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's great. Joan Jett, wow. The Pretenders, it's just like a lot of those women that I'm like, wow, your voices are great. But I didn't like, that's not how I started. I was like listening to Julie Andrews. Like, Julie Andrews is a wonderful singer.
Right.
So, and then like Kathleen Battle and like just other like opera. Yeah. So I'm just starting to be like, okay, who is it that I want to sound like? I should probably be listening to them. But I love a lot of like male singers because there is a lot more freedom that I hear in there, and like less, like there's less of like the precision that like women seem to have in the rock world. Like, they're like on, where the men are like, wow, like I'll do what I want. And you're like, wow, that's so free. And
Yeah.
I'd love to like get free, like to do like a Robert Plant, like
That's what I was thinking when you were saying
just
that.
like, what is that? And is that good? I mean, it is good, but like, really, is it good? I mean, it's weird, because he's not perfect.
Right.
And a lot of the women are like perfect. And that's like part of like the pressures on women. Like, like Janis Joplin, not perfect. Like, some of her stuff was, but that emotion is just that, like, to do that though is so hard, to just not be perfect and to just be like, I don't know what's going to come out,
So
but
what?
I'd like to get there.
Yeah. So what is next for ELOUR? What's coming up?
I am trying to find. Oh, I thought you meant like in a philosophical
Let's,
way. I was
let's
like,
do that.
whoa.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's philosophical. What's next?
I'm
for
trying
ELOUR?
to figure that out.
Okay.
Like I'm in that stage where like I pushed it really hard for a long time, and I felt like, yeah, I didn't really get to where I like wanted to be. Like I really wanted to be like getting something so we could go on tour, so we could like make it more of a thing.
Yeah.
And we just haven't gotten there. So now I'm like, well, what does that mean? How do I keep the motivation? How do I keep like this sort of love of creating, you know, even though I like haven't met sort of my goals or where I expect it to be. So I'm trying to figure that out, like what that means. And I haven't figured it out.
Sure.
I'm in the process. But as far as like gigging goes, like the actual, like what's in the future, what's happening, what's coming up, we have a residency at the 331 Club, which is always a good place because it's just like one of the few venues where there's a built-in crowd. And like we don't have a huge audience. So like if we have to bring everybody, it's painful.
Okay.
Like it's hard for me. Like I feel like it's my soul like hurts when no one comes. I'm like, So the 331, I'm like, thank you. Like people just go. They're just there. They're happy to see you, and I'm really grateful for that. So that's coming up February. Every Tuesday, ELOUR will be there, and we have like fun people we're pairing with, and yeah, I'm excited for that. And then I have a hard time getting into the studio because nothing is ever ready, and you know, nothing's ever ready.
Right.
And I feel like it's supposed to be ready before you bring it in, but the reality is it's hard to get it ready until you're there and you're getting it ready there in the studio, but that's expensive. So I am just going to kind of see if we can just figure out how to record, because I have so many new songs, and it's a different vibe a little bit than the old ELOUR songs, and less anger,
Okay.
more like a little bit more acceptance, and just kind of just more like back to like, what is this all about? Life. Less like anger about, less like relationship anger, more just like, what are we searching for? So that's kind of, you know, a little different, a switch up that I kind of want to like see if we can get an album out. And I think like there are like, you know, 10 songs I could probably get out, which is a lot. I'm like, oh gosh, it's daunting. So yeah, it's great. It's
Yeah.
great to do it, but to like get yourself ready to do it is just like, oh,
Yeah.
how are we gonna like, we gotta just do small pieces, like, you know, because otherwise it's a lot.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for coming. I
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having me.
This was a great conversation.
Okay. Thank you.
You can't replace it. What you're looking for, it's a shakedown, and find out it's not more out of reach.
And we're back, and it's time for everybody's favorite segment, upcoming shows. Claire.
Okay, I'm looking forward to 2. They're both at the beginning of February. One is the 7th at the Entry. It's with Eleganza and Manias and New Rocket Union and the Silent Treatment. And that'll be really fun.
It will be really
super
fun. I'm planning
noisy,
on going.
big, yay! And then the day after at Cloudland, Couch Potato Massacre and the Right Here and Suburban Muscle are playing. And that's going to be a fun little punk rock loud show.
Now you just destroyed my February. Now I've got choices for February 8th.
February 8th. Speaking of February 8th, Paul, what are you going to talk about?
February 8th, Scrunchies are playing at Pillar Forum. And then the other one that I'm really looking forward to is it the 24th? When's the Palmer show?
22nd.
February 22nd, the Silent Treatment, Constant Insult, and My Kid Banana at Palmer's. So it's a big Silent Treatment month.
Oh, jeez.
Just really is.
I'm super excited to see Constant Insult.
I love Constant Insult. And,
So the guitar player for See You Next Tuesday had a Constant Insults t-shirt.
Really nice. So Will, our guest from the Frozen Teens, he's guitar player for Constant Insult, and very fun.
On my birthday.
Oh!
Well, on my fake birthday.
No. Stop bullshitting us. That's not when your birthday is.
On a day that before my birthday would be at Palmer's on the 28th, the 99ers, the Silver Teens, and Swangos will be playing at Palmer's. So if you want to celebrate my existence, go to Palmer's on the 28th. But speaking of the aforementioned February 8th at the aforementioned Turf Club, I don't know if we aforementioned Turf Club.
We did not.
We didn't.
We didn't, but that's okay.
Okay, we're going
We
to edit in Turf
could have gotten
Club.
away with that had we not called you out. Sorry.
So at the Turf Club will be God Bullies, Gay Witch Abortion, and In Lieu.
Nice.
Nice. Very nice.
I think I'm going to get a lot of mileage in that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, February 8th. Wow.
Yeah. All that so that you don't have anything to celebrate the next day because it's not a leap year. I don't know if you all know this, but Pete's like 14.
No, I'm 13. I won't be 14. I won't be 14 until we're out of this dystopian future we're in.
The dystopian present.
The dystopian
The
present.
dystopian present, really.
By the way, band name Shotgunning It, my band name. And playing us out will be Rank Strangers.
He's got a little sister, really, and it's not a thing. Gone on a bedtime story, since it's never been the same. When I still send her letters, she doesn't get the man I return. After all this time and this prophecy rhymes, do you think that we both have learned?